Good morning. Happy to be here this morning. So I tried to squeeze down a 45 minutes presentation then to 12 when we heard that we were approved to present on this conference. So I represent Kongsberg Digital, which is a part of the Kongsberg organization. We are most known for developing ship automation system and ship equipment monitoring, but we also have a huge simulator division where we provide simulator for maritime training. So we have navigation simulators and cargo handling simulator. We work with LNG bunkering simulators, and now we also have a safety simulator, and today I'm presenting a new simulator that we have developed for firefighting training. So we call it KSIM Safety. We have KSIM Navigation, which is the navigation simulator, and KSIM Cargo, and for this family it's called KSIM Safety. However, it's mainly based for the advanced firefighting. And this kind of started with our engine room simulator, where we have developed a simulator of all the processes on board the ship in an engine room. And you can then simulate faults and go through the entire process of electrical and engine room and so on in order to train marine engineers. However, lately we also created the entire engine room visually, and there has been more requirements for engine room resource management, where we then also had to create a fire and train on different methods of extinguish a fire. However, I'm a chief engineer myself, and I had to renew my license, and I went on a training course because I hadn't been to sea for 5 years. I hadn't been working with Kongsberg. And then you go through the advanced firefighting training, which is 1 week, and there was only 1 day where we actually extinguished fires and we did smoke diver. The rest was management training and training on communication. And to my surprise, actually, the training, this was in Norway, was exactly the same training as it was in 1998 when I took my first firefighting training, which means that the communication was done in a classroom with paper, radios, and a fire control plan. And they send crew out in a separate room, and the teacher was then drilling them what to say, and then they took an assessment of the management team to see how did they communicate. And since I've now been working 11 years with simulators, we did a survey 2 years ago then, what type of products can be utilized for this type of training. And we figured out that there was some products, but we decided then to try to develop a product in order to train the emergency response and the communication. And this is the result of that survey. So we have launched KSIM Safety, which has simulating, it's based on a tanker, but we are simulating the hotel area and the engine room area, and the idea is that you can put fire, you can put avatars, missing persons, and you can familiarize on the entire ship, and you can maneuver around in the simulator in order to see and then communicate the correct actions to the team on the bridge or in the safety command center that the instructor wants to assess. So we looked at the STCW, and we looked what does it say about this advanced firefighting training. And it says that you shall be able to control fires, you shall be able to communicate and organize fire parties. And it also says in the exercise what type of method for competence shall be used. And it says actually that it should be in a ship realistic and simulated environment. And when I talk about the classroom, I must say I don't think that is a ship and realistic environment. However, it is approved by the authorities. So this is a product where we kind of have to prove that there are better solutions than the training they are delivering today. So the most easy way to explain what's the content of the product, and I hope I kind of give a long introduction now explaining the purpose of the product, I'm moving over to what did we make. So this is a typical training center, a room, for instance, like this room we're sitting in, and it's divided into the bridge, fire station 1, fire station 2, and we also have 2 fire teams. And the idea is that when you launch the alarm in the simulator, you put a fire, okay, you muster. The fire team 1 is muster on fire station 1, fire team 2 on fire station 2, and the management team on the bridge or the safety command center on board. The instructor is in charge of the exercise, and he can put, for instance, a missing person in cabin 2002 and a fire in the same area. And the idea is that when they enter fire station 1, they open a virtual world. With the Xbox controller on the screen, you're in the fire station, and you will have to dress your firefighter, you have to put on the bottles on the smoke diver, and you have to report the correct actions to the bridge that you're manned and ready. And it's a part of the STCW that these guys on the bridge, they shall then log, are they ready or are they not? And this is the same as you do in real life on board, and I've been chief engineer, and I also been a safety officer on board the ship, and this is where the failure starts. Very often I've been on the fire station, and the manager communicates to the bridge that we are manned and ready. Nobody put on any equipment, and we are actually missing 1 person. And this is the situation sometimes on board. Of course, everybody comes, and then it's okay, but this type of training is required on board and also on a training center. But how can we assess it? If you use a simulator, yeah, then you will see what did he say, what did he actually do. The instructor is in fully charge. However, when we discussed this, it was also an idea that when in the exercise, the fire team will have to split. There is a manager, there is an assistant, and there are 2 smoke divers. They go into the order by the bridge that there is a fire on deck 2. At one stage, the firefighters are by themselves. They are leaving their manager in order to fight the fire. So they communicate with the team leader, and the team leader is communicating to the bridge. So that's why you have 2 rooms. So when they enter the fire, the team leader assistant stays here, and the fire team enters the toxicated area with their masks on. And then you can assess the communication between fire team 1, the team leader, and the bridge. And then the other fire team also, so you can do it all in the same scenario. And we did build the entire ship with the engine room, all the upper decks, and the instructor has a map of the entire ship, and he can select where shall it burn, how much smoke shall it be, where is the missing person. So it's a tool to make it more realistic and more easy to assess and put these scenarios up in a shore-based station instead of doing this on board or just in a classroom like I already have seen done in a training center today. So the functionality is the same functionality as we see on other products. It's not like it's a brand new platform or a brand new software tool. We already have engine room cargo handling simulator. We already have an approved assessment monitor system, how to put scenarios, how to take replay, how to place actions. But in this case, we developed maps of the ship in the software, and the instructor can simply click on the map, and then he can insert actions in the virtual world. So this is an example of 1 deck. There are several decks on the ship, and you see functionalities here, and the instructor can then click, and then he can put a fire in that room, and he can also put a missing person there, if he likes. And he can also select the conscience of the missing person. If it's a lady, if it's a child, is it conscious or unconscious? This will visually be shown in the simulator when the student is actually in the room where he finds the person. And you can imagine how long time it actually takes to do search and rescue in such an environment in real life, and you can do the same in a simulator. So this is when you click on a room, you find a dialogue, and then you can put fire, and it will appear like this. You can pre-program how much smoke you have, and you can also decide that the fire is out. Because this has also been a problem sometimes when I was working on a ship. The crew didn't want to go on the exercise, so when the smoke diver was there, he reported to the bridge that the fire is out, because then he knew the exercise will be over. In this case, instructor is in charge when the exercise is over, and he actually has to pull the hose in order to fight the fire. So it's a matter of the instructor will have more power to do the assessment and select the outcome of the exercise. And this is difficult at the training center, and it's also difficult on board the real ship in order to have many persons working together. You can also put flooding in various areas. Yeah, if you are in 10 centimeters of water on your feet, this is something you should report to the bridge, and they should take their decision out of what is the condition in the engine room. Do we have flooding? Or in the upper decks? Yeah, maybe we should stop using water. Maybe we should start the bilge pump, and we do also have technical equipment in the simulator. You can start fire pump, you can release CO2, you can release water mist, and this fixed extinguish and fixed equipment. We also do have the ventilation system, so he can start the fans in order to ventilate out smoke. Yeah, this is a way of putting a missing person. You can select what type of person you want to put there, and you can also select if he is conscious or not conscious, because this is something they shall check and they shall report what did they find. And the fire team, when they enter the fire station, they will see the fire station as it is on board, and they can dress up each other, and you can see the avatars. So we will have to select mask, bottle, suit, boots, and you have to put on the mask, and when it's on, the pressure, if you open the valve, the pressure is also monitored, because this is something they shall write on the bridge. When a smoke diver is entering a space where there is a fire and he opens the bottle, you log on the bridge how many minutes has he been inside the contaminated area in order to know that they can go out again. And this is also a part of the simulator model. So when he opens the bottle, the pressure comes up, and the smoke diver can read the pressure, and he will also have to report to the bridge. Same with extinguish equipment. And I see my time is up, so thank you.